Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another after hours TBR where I play a game running through a little cave system, little bookshop, and try and gather as many books as I can for my TBR for August. Considering this is the first TBR I've done in a while and the first one that I will actually have the time to commit to, I just want to speed run through. I just want to see what prompts come up, just tackle as many as I can and just go with it. Because I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing any other readathons. All I am doing is moving house, filming as much stuff as I can before I move house, so that once I've moved house, I can settle in before I start filming again. Because YouTube took a huge setback whilst I was directing my play, and then took a massive setback because I needed to rest after directing my play. And I had a great time with it. Like, don't get me wrong, that was such an incredible experience. I will happily write and direct a play again if I can find another production company that will let me. Simply because the one that I worked with is based in Banbury, and I'm moving out of Banbury. So I could probably send them a script, but whether they'd find a director that would want to work with it, irrelevant. Anyway, took a massive setback. Now we're back onto it. I have a lot of time to film and a lot of time to read, and I want to do both. So no more waffle. We're here. We're ready. We're cracking back on with YouTube. I've missed you, and I'm ready to go. As with all my TBRs, I have some books which are automatically on my TBR. One of which is my Patreon readathon pick, which is chosen by my patrons, essentially. I basically give them 4 different prompts. They choose the one that sounds the best. That is related to a book. We all read the book and we all tick off the prompts together over on Discord. It's a great time. And then I also have my teapot, which I will show you here. Landed on Lateclaw by Anne-Marie McLemore, which was chosen for me by Molly. So thank you so much, Molly. I have owned this for a while and I can't remember. I think a different Molly gifted this to me. I think the BookTuber Molly, and now 𝚘𝚘 Molly, is the one who originally gifted this to me or just recommended it to me. I can't remember because it hasn't got a slip in it. But I know I've read 2 Anne-Marie McLemore books before and really enjoyed them. So that is a really strong start to my TBR as far as I'm concerned. But here is the rest. Here is me going through my dungeon crawling phase and finding my books. Okay, I have no idea what I want on my TBR, and that means we're going to go hell for leather. Can I do it in a single go? Let's find out. Right. Fine. Whatever you are. Literary contemporary. Sure. Let's go all the way down. Let's shimmy all the way down. Let's pick up a romance. Let's pick up a historical fiction, even though I've actively avoided those for months. Nothing in this room. Another historical fiction. Wonderful. Oh no, fantasy. The other one was fantasy. Contemporary is green. I need to remember my own prompts. Another fantasy. Okay, fine. We'll work with it. Right, how do I get out of this room? I have to go back the way I came. Wonderful. Can I go this way? Yes, I can. Let's go with the romance because it might be easier than another high fantasy. I feel like I've got enough fantasy. I feel like I've got like 3 on there already. 3 is probably plenty. Let's grab another contemporary, that's fine. Where are my horrors? Where are my gothics? Where are my favourite genres? I don't want to run out of time. I would really love to be able to get in a full TBR on this first round. I've got enough fantasies. I've got romance. Oh, okay. I took the romance. I took it as a hit because I really wanted to film this in one go and not have my 2 other attempts at building it. We have a fantasy / sci-fi ugly cover, which has got to be my least favourite prompt. However, last time I got ugly cover, it was for a horror, and I read Mayfly, and I loved it. So, okay. Romance, last chance book. This is, okay, so last chance author normally is someone that I've tried before and didn't vibe with. So romance is kind of, like the last chance book is kind of the same sort of thing where I've tried the book before or I've TBR'd it a couple of times and this is it. Historical fiction, feed scroll a booktube pick. That should be relatively easy. Historical fiction matches my outfit where I'm wearing a spirit t-shirt essentially. I'm wearing a Smirnoff t-shirt, black with some colour. Not ideal to match my outfit, but there we go. An audiobook, fantasy or sci-fi audiobook, brilliant. Mood read, literary or contemporary, great. A fantasy standalone, difficult, because I'm pretty sure most of the fantasy I have are series, but we'll give it a go. A booktube favourite, literary or contemporary, shouldn't be too difficult. And a romance, water or rain in the title. Water or rain in the title. I don't think I have anything on my own TBR that would match that. So that might need to be a library or ebook. Okay. We've got it. We've got this TBR. I'll see you in a sec when I put this list of books together. So a real mix of contemporaries and fantasies and things. Here for it. So let us start with a fantasy standalone, which I did not think I had. I thought I exclusively had fantasy series, but I was gifted this in advance of its release by 𝚘𝚎, and then never got to it. Deepest apologies, 𝚘𝚎. But The Girl with No Reflection by 𝚘𝚑𝚎 is a standalone. It is also a book that I have TBR'd before, so this is its second TBRing, but maybe we can get back into my fantasy vibes, because I feel like I've just been bombarded with romantasy and no interest in reading romantasy at all. Fantasy with romance, sure, but romantasy I've just lost interest in it. Like, I'm just exhausted with it as a subgenre. So hopefully this will feel very high fantasy and I can get on board with that, can get very on board with that. So I know nothing about the plot. I've had it so long, I have forgotten the plot, but very, very excited for this high fantasy. For contemporary, a booktube favourite, I'm going to read 𝚘𝚘𝚎 by Mary H.K. Choi. This was everywhere on booktube like a couple of years ago, and my sister-in-law gifted it to me. Basically, she gifted this to me because her dog had an accident in her bed and they needed someone to take the duvet to a laundrette. I think in the end it went to a laundrette because it was just so big. But it was like a real early morning panic because she didn't have a car. And obviously I was happy to help. Obviously I was happy to help. Like, there is nothing worse than being like, I'm stuck and I have this chore to do and my pet baby is struggling. So yeah, it was really, really lovely of her to gift this to me. Haven't read it. This was literally, they've lived abroad now for over 5 years. So it's not a chore I've done recently. This is a while. To the point that, again, don't know the plot. Don't know. Could read the synopsis to you. Won't. But feel free to leave an egg emoji if you've read 𝚘𝚘𝚎 before, because I don't know anything about it, but I'm excited to get to it. Booktube adored it. It's my turn. So we had a romance last chance. This is another gifted book. I've gone with the Bromance Book Club. You can see how far I got in. Now, I was reading this as part of a vlog that I ended up scrapping, where I was trying to read a bunch of different books gifted to me by my friends, and most of the video was okay, but the quality of, like, some of the video once it was rendered just looked iffy, so I can't actually remember if I shared it or not. I don't think I did, but I didn't get very far into this book before I lost it. Like, straight up put it down somewhere and couldn't find it, and haven't cared about it since. I've tried doing like snippets of an audiobook and just didn't care. But I was also very, very heavily into my highbrow contemporary and gothic phase when that was happening, and was moving house, and it was dark and it was gloomy and I was just feeling away. So I'm hoping that I will come back to this and actually really, really enjoy this, because I love the idea of it being, I do know the plot of this one, I love the idea of it being a group of men reading romance books to learn to be better partners for their wives and girlfriends. So here for that as a concept, that I feel like I should really enjoy this, and I want to enjoy it because it was gifted to me. So thank you very much, Hannah from Bookworms Feast, for gifting this to me. I'm going to prioritize it. If I don't read it this month as a last chance book, I'm not going to try and read TBR it. This is my second time of TBRing it, but we'll leave it there. But I've got some expectations that I should enjoy it. I'm hoping that it was just a me problem, because again, this is another booktube favourite. I feel like people have really, really enjoyed this kind of romance, so we shall see. I have another arc that I didn't get to, which is The Gentleman and the Vowelsmith. Now, I've picked this one for fantasy with an ugly cover. Now, ugly is subjective. okay? It's not that this is a super ugly cover, it's just I have some very pretty fantasies, and the colour combination of the pasty yellow and the magenta doesn't work for me. If this had been a like black background and lime green, ooh, I'd have been all over it. I'd have been all over it. But this colour combo makes me feel nauseous. So that's it. I don't remember the plot of this one either, but thank you, Tor, for sending this to me. Historical matches my outfit. I was actually able to squeeze on quite a little book. So obviously it's got the bright colours. It's mainly black, so it has got black on it as well. It's kind of like in reverse, but I feel like it goes with my outfit. Nothing Left to Fear from Hell by Alan Warner. Now, this is part of a kind of collection that Rizzio and Hex are part of, the Polygon and Historicals, which are really dark gothic histories, but also novellas. And as I said, I am hoping to do lots of reading, but also lots of packing and lots of filming and potentially some writing. That would be lovely too. So I'm very aware of the fact that I need some short reads. Do I remember what this is about? No, but not because I'd read the synopsis. I've never read the synopsis of this one. I just saw it was part of the collection and bought it. This isn't even a cover buy. This was a, oh, you're all together? Come with me type scenario. This is, you know, Snow White grabbing her dwarves and being like, you're all my friends now. Come, let's go forth. I'm sure it's going to traumatize me because it's part of that series, but what it's about, couldn't tell you. I'll tell you when I'm done. Because this one I will finish this month. I've zero doubts that I will finish this month. Another short historical, which I'm very excited to get to, and another one of this Polygon series, is the Val McDermott Queen Macbeth. And this was for the prompt historical booktube feed scroll. This took me a while. I started by just scrolling. Like, I started just going through my booktube feed. Has anyone got any historical fictions? Nothing. It is all fantasy or contemporary. I don't know where my historical girlies have gone. Disappeared into the ether. And then I remembered that what Victoria read is a big fan of historical fiction, and that we have read some very similar books and had very similar thoughts on the historical fictions that we've read, and thought, I'm going to scroll through her feed. Like, it's not specifically a feed, but she'll have some historical fictions on there. And it took me a couple of videos. And then I saw that she had read Queen Macbeth by Val McDermott. Now, Val McDermott is a crime fiction writer, like very, very famous for like Vera and a bunch of other really great series. So the idea of Queen Macbeth being written with that high intensity crime thriller like subgenre in with historical, very, very here for. And also it was the first one that someone had on their feed that I actually owned. So win-win. Another short read for my TBR. Love that for me. And if you're like, oh Hannah, you've been so nice to yourself, look at this lovely array of books that you are fully prepared to get to. Then we chose fantasy audiobook. Before I get to this, and we'll discuss that in a second, this is a reread. Now, this author has been in some hot water in the last 5 years for making comments that were sexist. He did backtrack. He also was forced to step down as the chairman of the Writers Association, and he did it backing another author who had said something similar about language, and it was sexist insofar as it was also a little transphobic, and the idea, like, her comment was transphobic, his was backing hers and was a bit pedantic and a bit sexist. He has backed down. That doesn't mean what he did was okay. It doesn't mean that you have to read this author, you have to be okay with me reading this author. For me, it has taken some time to even have his books back on my shelf, because at the moment, it's exhausting being mad at every author. I often find the time and energy to do that, but this is one of the series that I grew up with. And this is a series that actually I think has some really interesting narrative beats to it, especially with what's going on at the moment. This book has travel and migration and violence against women and persecution, and it's all very mirroring of what we're seeing in Palestine and in the Ukraine. So I will be reading the second, and I will explain why I'm reading the second book. The second book of Dust, the Secret Commonwealth by Philip Pullman. And I will understand if people have an issue with me reading this book or rereading this book. I'm rereading this one because his third book is coming out later this year, I think November this year, and I would like to be able to read it when it comes out. Philip Pullman is one of my favourite authors, and for a really long time I described him as my favourite author because The Northern Lights could do no wrong. Then we had this issue with him making these comments, and it's not even necessarily that time has passed. I did a whole video about what do we do when our favourite authors are problematic and the hill that we decide we're going to die on. And fundamentally, there are authors on my shelves that are not necessarily good people, but they're not like using the death of people of colour to promote their books. Level bad. It's a grey area for me. And because fundamentally he has not channeled thousands of pounds into anti-trans charities and hasn't actively been violent against women, hasn't actively sent people onto other people's Twitters to like slam them like other authors have that I've removed from my shelves, I am prepared to read this. And maybe this is so much more waffle than you needed. Maybe you're sat there and you're like, Hannah, what is the big deal? Like, if you enjoy the author, read the author, separate artist and art. I really struggle with that. Like, I really struggle to do that. Am I justifying this to you? Yes, a little. I am also justifying it to me because I did not throw his books away when all of this stuff kicked off. I boxed them up and I put them away because I didn't want to let go of them, but I also did not feel comfortable promoting his books on my channel. This is the closest I have come to talking about any Philip Pullman book since I did the video where I did my Ride or Die, which was my first year in BookTube way back when, in like 2021, 2020. So it's been time. And they say time heals. I don't feel healed. I know this book is going to traumatize me because I know this book has sexual assault in it. And yet, it's the audiobook that I want to commit to. It's the one that I'm in the mood to read because I really want to get to the third book. And in the meantime, if Philip Pullman does something else, please let me know, because once bitten, twice shy. Like, I'm nervous about old men on the internet, but I'm not nervous about reading this book. I know I'll be traumatized. I know it's beautifully written. I also know it's massive, which is why I'm doing it as an audiobook. I did consider just reading it before the next one comes out, but I'm going to audiobook it because it's huge. Okay, that was a lot of monologuing for what is essentially, I feel a little guilty for reading this book, but I don't know if I should feel guilty. Should you feel guilty about reading something? Contextually, I think that's relevant. Anyway, the next one is a romance with water or rain. Now, it's meant to be in the title, but I didn't have any water or rain books with the title, but I do have Out of the Blue, which has water on the cover, so I'm calling it Out of the Blue. I think is an LGBT romance between a young boy and a merman. Would this classify as romantasy? Yes, technically. I feel like it's going to be different. I feel like this is going to feel like a contemporary, but with mer people in it, and more importantly, gay mer people in it. So I'm here for it. I hope it's cute and I hope they kiss. Those are my two expectations. Be cute and kiss. And then finally is my literary mood read. I am going for Glory by No Violet Bulawayo. This one was unhalted to me from Olivia, and again, I've had it a while. I have not picked up a Booker Prize winner, shortlist, long list in quite some time. I do generally enjoy them, but I have to be in the mood for them. And it turns out I am in the mood for this one. So I am finally going to pick it up. Know nothing about it other than it is going to be a high literary read, I assume. So there we have it. There is my TBR. It's not massive. This one aside, I think because of the length of the other ones, it's not too bad. Completely serviceable for August. I don't know what to do about September because I'm going back into teaching, and I appreciate I have a whole month to work that out. But if you have any ideas of managing my expectations for what I can read starting a new job, please let me know, because I know what will happen. I'll get through all of these tiny little reads and then I'll be like, oh, it's time to mood read every massive fantasy that I own. And then I'll want gothics and horrors because Gothtober's in October, and I need to temper myself. I need to set realistic and smart expectations. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below, which book do you think I should start with on my TBR? Do you think I am right in giving Philip Pullman a second chance? Or would you have just let him go? Let me know in the comments down below. If you just want to let me know that you were here, feel free to leave an emoji in the comments. I have suggested an egg already. Crack on. Pun intended. Treat yourself to something from Waypoint because it supports me and my content. Check out the links below because I've got a Patreon now. And most importantly, have a nice day.